Most people think the danger of a road trip is falling asleep at the wheel. But sometimes it's what you find when you're wide awake, out there on some empty stretch of road at 2 in the morning, miles from anyone that you never fully recover from. These are 3 of those stories. I was 23, driving alone from Phoenix to Las Vegas on US 93. It was late August, which means the desert doesn't really cool down after dark. It just gets a different kind of hot, dry and still and almost suffocating. I'd left Phoenix around 9 at night, figuring I'd missed the worst of the heat. And by midnight, I was somewhere north of Wickiup with nothing around me but creosote and darkness and the low hum of my own tires. There's a long stretch on that highway, maybe 40 or 50 miles, where you won't see a gas station, a town, or another car. The road just goes flat and straight, disappearing into the dark ahead of your headlights. I'd driven it before, and it had never bothered me. That night, something felt different. Not wrong exactly, just heavier. I passed mile marker 72, then 73. My phone had no signal. The radio had dissolved into static somewhere south of Wickiup. I was driving in near total silence except for the engine, and I remember thinking that silence out there in the desert at midnight is a real physical thing. It has weight to it. At mile marker 74, I saw him. He was standing right at the shoulder of the road. Not sitting, not crouching, standing perfectly upright facing the oncoming lane. Facing me. He was wearing dark jeans and a pale button-down shirt, and he had no visible bag, no broken-down car, nothing. Just a man standing alone in the desert at midnight on a highway where nobody stops. I slowed down instinctively. My foot just came off the gas. He didn't wave, didn't stick out a thumb. He just watched my car approach. And as I got within maybe 100 feet of him, he took one step forward. Not into the road, just forward, like he was leaning into me. Like he was curious. I didn't stop. I accelerated past him, and for maybe 3 seconds he was in my side mirror, still facing forward, watching my taillights. Then the mirror showed only darkness. I told myself it was fine, broken down car somewhere I hadn't seen. Guy just needed air. People break down on 93 all the time. I kept driving and tried to let my heart rate come back down. 20 minutes later, I saw headlights behind me. Far back, but there. I watched them in my rearview mirror, not thinking much about it at first. But over the next few miles, the headlights stayed the same distance back. Not gaining, not falling behind, just there, matching my speed exactly. I sped up, they sped up. I slowed down, they slowed down. I'm not someone who panics easily. I work in logistics. I deal with problems systematically. So I told myself to stay calm and think. There were no exits, no turn-offs for miles. Whoever it was had to go the same direction I was going. That didn't mean anything. But then I passed mile marker 91, and the headlights disappeared. Not like they turned off and slowed down. Not like the car turned somewhere. They just weren't there anymore. I checked the mirror 6, 7 times over the next 2 miles. Nothing. No lights in either direction. I made it to Kingman around 1:30 in the morning. Got a room at a motel off Route 66 and sat on the edge of the bed for a long time thinking about that man and what he was doing out there. I looked at a map the next morning. Mile marker 74 is in the middle of a stretch with no access roads, no driveways, no dirt tracks going anywhere. There's nothing there, just desert. I've driven that highway 4 times since. I always look for the mile marker. I haven't seen anyone standing there again, but I check the mirror a lot more than I used to. My girlfriend and I were driving from Minneapolis to Glacier National Park. Late June, great weather, windows down, the whole thing. We'd been looking forward to it for 6 months. We made it to Minot, North Dakota, the first night, and that was fine. But on the second day, we hit construction delays outside Havre, Montana, and by the time we cleared them, it was close to 10 at night, and we were running on empty in every sense of the word. We needed to stop. The town we stopped in wasn't really a town. It was a grain elevator, a bar, and a motel called the Pineview that had a glowing vacancy sign and a hand-painted pine tree on the office door. No pines anywhere in sight, for what it's worth. The woman at the desk was friendly enough, older, gray-haired, gave us room 11 at the far end of the building, handed over a physical key on a heavy plastic keychain. The room smelled like old carpet, an air freshener, and something else underneath both of those, something damp. There were 2 double beds, and a TV and a bathroom with a sliding door that didn't quite close all the way. Normal motel stuff. My girlfriend Raina took a shower. I lay on the closer bed and watched whatever local news was on and started to drift off. At some point I woke up. I don't know what time it was. The TV was still on, but muted. I must have hit the button half asleep. Raina was in the other bed. The room was dark except for the TV glow and a thin strip of parking lot light under the door. Someone was knocking, very quietly. Not pounding, not urgent, just slow, even knocks. Like someone knocking politely but steadily for a long time. I lay there listening and counted them. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. I sat up, looked at my phone. 3:14 a.m. I went to the door and looked through the peephole. The parking lot was right there, lit by a single overhead lamp, and I could see our car and the cars of the 2 or 3 other guests. No one at the door. The knocking had stopped. I went back to bed, told myself it was the pipes or someone at a neighboring room or something settling. Old buildings make noise. 20 minutes later it started again, same cadence. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3. This time Raina was awake too. She was sitting up in her bed looking at me. In the TV light I could see she wasn't scared exactly. She looked like I felt, which was alert and unsure. I shook my head at her, held up a finger, went to the door again. This time I cracked it open. The parking lot was empty. No one in either direction along the walkway. But the room next to ours, room 12, had its curtain slightly open, and when I looked over, a face was pressed against the glass from the inside. Close enough that I could see the features. Male, middle-aged, eyes open, completely still. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at our door. I closed and bolted ours. Woke Raina and told her what I'd seen, kept my voice low and even. We debated calling the front desk and decided not to because I wasn't sure what I'd say. Someone in their own room looking out their window? We pushed the second bed against the door and didn't sleep again. In the morning we packed fast and left before 6. The office wasn't even open yet. The car in front of room 12 was a gray Chevy pickup with Montana plates and a cracked taillight, and I took a photo of the plate before we pulled out. I'm not sure why. I just did. I've thought a lot about what I actually saw. A man standing at his window in the middle of the night isn't a crime. He might have heard the knocking and been looking out to see what was going on. Same as me, except the knocking was coming from the wall between our rooms, and the look on his face wasn't curious or startled. It was patient, like he'd been doing it for a while, like he was going to keep doing it until something happened. I grew up in Prince George, British Columbia, and if you've never driven the Yellowhead Highway 16, you might not understand what I mean when I say remote. I mean hundreds of kilometers of boreal forest with maybe 4 towns and 2 gas stations between them. I mean elk on the road at dusk. I mean clouds so low in October that they sit right on the tree line and you drive through them. I mean places where your phone will show no signal for 3 hours at a stretch. I was 26, driving back to Prince George from a camping trip near Smithers with my friend Daniel. We'd left later than planned because we'd packed slow and it was already dark by the time we got east of Burns Lake. Neither of us was in a hurry, so we weren't driving fast. Daniel was asleep in the passenger seat. I had the heater on and a coffee going cold in the Q folder. Around 11, maybe 11:30, I saw a car on the side of the road, hazard lights blinking, an older Subaru wagon parked partway on the gravel shoulder with its trunk open. A woman was standing behind it. I slowed down. Daniel woke up when I hit the brakes. I pulled over about 50 meters ahead of the car and watched in the mirror. The woman walked toward us. She was maybe 30, dressed in a rain jacket, carrying nothing. She came to the passenger side, and Daniel rolled the window down a crack. She said her name was Karen. She said she'd had a blowout and didn't have a working jack. She asked if we had one or if we could call someone. Her phone was dead. Daniel looked at me. I looked at her. She seemed calm, coherent, not distressed in any way that felt off. We had a jack. We got out. It was while I was at the back of her car looking at the flat tire that I noticed the logging road. It's so common up there you almost don't see them. Just a gap in the tree line with 2 dirt tracks going back into the dark. But this one had something at the edge of it. A truck parked in the trees just far enough back that its front bumper was at the tree line. No lights, no running lights, no headlights, nothing. I stood up slowly. Daniel was talking to the woman by our car. I looked at the truck in the logging road. I couldn't make out the make or color in the dark. Just the shape of it, low and wide, sitting there without a sound. And then the driver's door opened. I didn't see anyone get out. I heard the door creak and watched it swing open, and then nothing. No interior light. No silhouette. Just an open door facing the highway. I said Daniel's name. Not loud, not panicked, just said it once. He looked at me. I think he saw what was on my face because he stopped mid-sentence. I told the woman we needed to go, that there was a service station back in Burns Lake and we'd radio someone or call from the payphone there. I can still hear how I said it, clipped, rehearsed almost, like I was reciting something. She started to say something, and I was already walking back to the car. Daniel was right behind me. We got in, and I pulled out fast, not squealing tires, but faster than I'd been going before, And I didn't look in the mirror for a long time because I was afraid of what would be there. When I finally did look, the hazard lights were gone. The logging road was gone. The highway behind us was empty. We didn't talk for maybe 20 minutes. Then Daniel said, "Did you see the truck?" I said yes. He said her tire wasn't flat. I didn't say anything back. I just kept driving. We didn't stop again until Prince George. I've thought about the woman constantly since then. Maybe her tire was fine and we misread it. Dark highway, adrenaline. Maybe the truck in the logging road was someone sleeping, or parked for a reason I don't understand, and the door swung open in the wind. But Daniel and I haven't talked about that night. Not really. Not in the way you'd talk about something that had a normal explanation. We just don't bring it up. The Yellowhead has a name in the communities up there. People who've driven it long enough call it the Highway of Tears. Not because of anything supernatural, because of what has actually happened on that road to real people. I think about that every time I see a car parked on the shoulder at night. I don't stop anymore. I just don't. Road trips are supposed to be about freedom. Open road, no schedule, just distance between you and wherever you came from. But distance can work the other way too. It puts you far from people who know you, far from anywhere anyone would think to look. The road doesn't care. It just keeps going. And sometimes the things out there on it at 3 a.m, they're counting on the fact that you're alone. Drive safe.